So the news just came out about Zion. Just as far as you know, what has he been cleared to do for on-court activities?
Not a ton right at the moment. I've said it before, but because of the re-injury, we're just taking a slower approach with his rehabilitation. He'll get on the floor. He's starting to move a bit, starting to do some running, doing some shooting, but we're taking it kind of slow.
And the belief as of right now is that you guys are hoping he will be back before the end of the regular season, correct?
We'll see. You know, I can't confirm if he'll be back or not, but we'll see.
And just how positive is this news for him to just take this step in his progress?
It's extremely positive for him, for our team. You know, it's been another one of those years that's just he starts off well and makes an all-star game, and it's been difficult, you know, navigating injuries. A part of the game, but it's definitely been tough. So I'm sure he's relieved to start to feel normal again, being on the floor.
And what have you seen with Jose's progress as well?
Same thing. It's one of those injuries that it's just going to take time to heal. Once again, we feel bad for Jose that he has to go through this, bad for our team, but kind of nothing we can do about it but allow the process to happen.
Is it almost too much pressure? If Zion does make that 2-week time frame, he'd come back with like 4 days and 3 games. Is it almost, you got to be careful of the pressure you put, like, great, he's back. Lead us to 3 victories in the play-in. Is that unfair?
We'll see. I mean, I don't know if it's unfair. I think, you know, that might be a part of the cards that we're dealt. And if we are, you know, we work with what we have and kind of go from there. But that's definitely a possibility.
What's his move been like, being able to, get this update and at least start progressing to back to the
He's thrilled. He's thrilled about seeing more of a progression, getting on the floor, starting to do some movement, doing some basketball activities. A lot of what he's been doing has not been with the basketball in his hand, so that excites him, and we're happy to see it.
And on the flip side, how's Jose's move, man? Because I know with an injury like that, you're not allowed to do anything.
I know.
I'm sure telling Jose not allowed to do anything has been difficult.
That's an understatement. It's extremely difficult for Jose. He wants to be out there with his teammates. He's itching to do something, and right now it's healing. He's getting better, but it's another one of those injuries you got to be really careful, and we don't want to put him on the floor or have him doing anything that will put him in danger of having a setback.
The announcement said that he'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Do you have any sense of whether it's possible the medical staff could say in 2 weeks, based on the reevaluation, he can play in the next game? Or will there be a lapse in there between the evaluation and his return?
Are you referring to Z?
Yeah.
There's a possibility. Like, once again, there's no confirmation on my part that that'll happen, but definitely a possibility.
Well, like, just big picture of the season, how much of an adjustment been to go from an offense, centered around Zion to removing him from the equation and having to go forth without him on offense?
It's been a constant adjustment this season. Not having Z on the floor at times, not having Brandon on the floor at times. But, we're still figuring it out, and we feel like we're getting into a good place coming down the last 10 games, but it's constant work on everybody's part, and we're asking guys to kind of take a step or two up.
Well, is that frustrating, or you feel like that's just how the league is now?
It's some frustration with it because you want to be healthy. Every team in the league comes in with expectations and goals and excitement based on knowing what your team will look like full. We haven't been full for majority of the season. That part is frustrating, but now you look at where you are and you just continue to try to improve, continue to try to instill confidence in our group and go out and focus on one game at a time, trying to win those games.
And what's it been like just trying to keep Zion patient, because he's talked about wanting to play in playoff games, wanting to be in this type of environment? What's it been like, because you talked about just the fear of re-injury with this type of injury. What's it like just trying to keep him one step at a time?
That part is difficult, but Coach T. Spoon, who works with him day in and day out, they do a great job of talking things through. And, we'll see what happens when we get to that moment.
Do you still have to be kind of I mean, he is 22 and he hasn't even started his extension yet. I know it's hard to be patient and win now pro sports, but is that kind of something you have to be cognizant of? That he is so young and he hasn't even started his extension yet?
Yeah, for sure. The biggest thing for us is, injuries happen. How can we, get guys safely back to the floor, which is what we're trying to do. Z has a bright future in the NBA, and he's a major part of what we're doing here. We all want him back, but once again, we don't want to try to rush guys and things like that where we're putting people at danger. And he wants to be on the floor. Just not in the cards, at the moment. So we'll see what happens at the end of the season.
What have you liked about what the offense has been able to do these last 30 to kind of get going and playing through Jonas at times to slow things down?
I think we're doing a more of a balanced job of running when we can, getting out in the open floor, and then when the game calls for it, we can settle the game down by throwing it in the post to JV or BI, and that creates quality shots for us.
And when we talk a lot about the Western Conference standings and how dominant it is, why do you think it's so different this year than in the years past?
I think the play-in game has contributed to more competitiveness throughout the course of the NBA. I think teams have taken a look at what it's done the last couple seasons, and you got an opportunity to make it to the playoffs by being the 10th seed. That is unprecedented as far as the NBA, before the last couple seasons, I believe. So with that being said, you come down to the last 20 games, 15 games of the season, and there's pressure on your team to perform, and we're excited about it. I love it for the NBA. I love it for our fans. The race has never been this tight, and, you got to go out and attack the games in front of you.
Willie, will we officially know Zion's back when he posts a 360 dunk on Twitter? Is that when we'll know that he's ready to roll?
Hopefully we get to see that soon, but no, I'm not sure. He'll take it slow once again, and when he can get back on the floor, I'm sure you guys have an update on it.